Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to turn a pumpkin from this to this to this? Well, stay tuned because I'll show you how to do it. "364 days till next Halloween, and for your next pumpkin project you will need one large pumpkin, and you're also going to need a starter saw and a scoop. Now is the time to go out to the stores and pick up these items because items like this are available at 90% off, and as you can see here, I got these items here for $1.31. Anyways, also what you will need to complete this project is one computer, one printer, one transparency, and one Sharpie, an overhead projector, and also you're going to need a Dremel kit and an engraving bit. Next will be a box of swabs and a roll of towels. First you're going to start with your pumpkin. You're going to cut a hole around the top of the pumpkin. Make sure that your pumpkin is held firmly in your grasp as you're doing this for safety. And as you are cutting the lid of the pumpkin, make sure that you are carving at a diagonal. That way the lid will not fall into the pumpkin. Once you are done, you go ahead and remove that top there. Yes, disgusting. Alright, now is a good time to take a look at the inside of the lid of your pumpkin. You're going to notice how thick the inside of the pumpkin actually is. So we can go ahead and trim off some of that inside layer of the pumpkin at the lid. This will also be a good gauge for you to see how thick the pumpkin is inside, which will come in useful later. So go ahead and trim off as much as you can. Leave about a ½ an inch around the lid so that way the lid can sit into that groove. Alright, and go ahead and grab your handy dandy scoop, and you're going to go ahead and release all the seeds from the inside of the pumpkin. Go ahead and just do a downward motion and scrape all of them off. And as you go around the pumpkin, you'll release them all and you'll be able to pretty much get them all out in one big ball. When you do get them out, just put them on a paper towel so that way they don't stain your counter, and it will also help cleanup be a little bit easier. As you're cleaning your pumpkin out, you want to make sure that you get all of the bits completely clean from the inside. That includes all of the veins and all of the seeds. Those are the first things that will start to deteriorate and cause your pumpkin to get moldy. So if you can get those items out, it will help your pumpkin last longer. And let's go ahead and take a look inside so you can see how clean that is. Everything is out and nice and clean. As you can see, this was a pretty thick pumpkin, and here I come with the projector. I do recommend getting a high quality one. However, these are a bit pricey, brand new, so if you go on eBay you can find some for very cheap, about $25. Go ahead and go online and look for some line art. Choose whatever it is that you like, and make sure that when you print it out on your transparency that you're going to make it as small as possible. I would say about 200 by 200 pixels. Might be a little large, so anything less than that would work. Remember, a projector will increase the size of your image, so you want to start small so that way it can be traced onto your pumpkin correctly. So here I am tracing the image onto the pumpkin with a Sharpie. Don't worry about the Sharpie being permanent on your pumpkin because those lines are actually going to be the drill points for your pumpkin. So they will all disappear. By the time you're done, you won't see any Sharpie lines at all. Do your best to draw each line nice and clean on the pumpkin. This may be a little difficult because a pumpkin is naturally not smooth, so just do your best. Even small mistakes can be covered up with the carving process. So as you can see here, I keep looking back to the image on the screen of the projector. This helps me if I get lost when I'm looking at the pumpkin. If a line does not seem clear to me, I can always refer back to the image and then back to the pumpkin to find my place. So go ahead and take your time, draw this entire image out, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, now that we are wrapping up the drawing of the line art onto the pumpkin, we'll go ahead and move that out of the way, and I'll give you a quick look at how that looks on the pumpkin. Alright, so here we have the Dremel in hand, and we're going to speed through the process of how I carve this pumpkin using the Dremel. Make sure you hold the Dremel firmly in your hand and have a firm grasp on the pumpkin as you carve each line individually. You may need to take breaks between each line and stop and clean. Go ahead and grab a paper towel and clean off any of the residue that forms from the pumpkin. Now that we have the pumpkin carved, we're going to go ahead and take out a little bit more of the inside. We want to thin out the inside of the shell of the pumpkin to bring it down to about 1 inch. Now it's kind of hard to guess what that 1 inch is, but go ahead and just kind of take a look at the top and see if you're going too far. You don't want to go less than 1 inch because you don't want any breakthroughs. So unless that's your intention, if you want to have a breakthrough, like an actual hole cut through the pumpkin, maybe in the eye feature or in some other feature of your design, that's okay. But I do like to do these pumpkins with no holes in them because it allows them to last a little bit longer than if they're more exposed to the air. Alright, so now that the inside has been carved out, it's time to put a candle inside and give it our first test. I'm going to go ahead and light that and show you what it looks like after the first pass of carving. Alright, and there you have it. That's a pretty successful carving. But you know what, we can actually do a little bit better than that to make it a little more brighter. So we're going to go through with the Dremel one more time, and we're going to carve one more time all the lines to make them a nice even length. The first pass that we did was just to establish our lines. Now we're going to go deep with the Dremel tool. So we're going to go a little bit deeper so that way we can get a little bit brighter pumpkin carving. Alright, so here we go once again with the deep carving. You basically only want to go in probably about maybe about 1 centimeter, and nothing more than that. You don't want to risk breaking through the pumpkin, but you do want to get close to that interior lining so that way the light can really shine through your image. So as you go through, make sure that you clean up any mess, and go ahead and grab a Q-tip and run the Q-tip through each of the grooves to remove any of the excess pumpkin that remains inside. Doing that will help the light shine through better and also make your pumpkin illuminate better at night. Now, as you can see on the table surface here, I did not put down any newspaper or any protective cloth. I would highly recommend that you do that because it does make a very big mess. Since you're using a spinning tool that's carving out this pumpkin, you're going to be spreading pumpkin debris 360 degrees. So any 4 to 5 foot surface around your carving area will get pumpkin bits and pumpkin mess all over the place. So make sure that you lay that down first because that will go ahead and help you out later at cleanup. Now, for those of you who want to appreciate your work a little bit longer, maybe carve your pumpkin a day or two early of Halloween next year, you can put Vaseline in these grooves. You can apply it with a Q-tip, and this will also help the pumpkin last a little bit longer. But unfortunately, it's inevitable. Your pumpkin will succumb to the elements. So make sure that after a day or two that you are storing your pumpkin on some kind of plate or a bucket. So that way if it does start to lose its water, it won't drip onto your carpet, it won't drip onto your concrete and leave a stain. Just make sure that your pumpkin is kept off any surfaces after a day or two. If you do want to keep your pumpkin lasting maybe 3 or 4 days, you can try refrigerating it as well. That's also a good tip to try. Alright, so here is our final look at the pumpkin with the candles, and that second cut does provide a better look for your pumpkin. So that's it, the pumpkin is done. The trick-or-treaters are showing up at the door, so it's time to get out there and put it out on the table with the candy. So here's the final look with photographs. Of course, the photographs do come out a lot nicer, but here is Werewolf. He is carved on our pumpkin outside for our trick-or-treaters. And he decided to go out and give some candy out as well. So if you could do me a favor and subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, comment, and also ring that bell notification icon. We have a lot more planned for you here, so if you can keep coming back, I would really appreciate it. Have a great day, and we'll see you next year for Halloween.